Hey everyone, how much power do your players have over the game that they're playing and the setting itself? Also, we're going to dive right into backstory a little bit here because it's all in the same context we're talking about is player control, narrative control over both the setting, the game, and where the backstory all fits into that mess. So, I'm going to get into it a little bit here. This is a collaboration video with Joe Bloch, the Greyhawk Grognard, Erik Tenkar from Tenkar's Tavern, and Mr. Welch from Mr. Welch. All right, the Mystara guru of all time. So we're going to get into everybody's doing a video. So check it out. If you click that subscribe button below, you'll see all their channels. So you can check out their videos as well. All right. We're dropping them at various times throughout the day. All right. Now let's jump right in. So first we'll get into the game. Okay. The first time I ever heard about this sort of narrative control thing, other than like some game systems, house rules has some sort of a luck component where you can maybe re-roll or something like that. The first time I ever heard of an integrated system where it was, in the system itself was when I bought this thing. This is the Dresden Files RPG. And I love Dresden. I love those books, right? I just got the recent one. I really, really enjoyed that. I'm probably going to do a video on it, but he's back, baby. Harry Dresden is back. Jim Butcher is back. It's all good. But in summary, but getting into it, I guess I didn't understand what the hell this was based on. I think it's based on something called the Fate system. And I'm reading the book and I'm trying to figure it out because even the book says your story, right? I mean, volume 1, your story, like you're telling the story. I'm like, oh, that's weird, and that was just an interesting little take on it. So I'm trying to figure out how the hell the system works because I know it's not, D&D based, right? It's not that sort of thing. And I came across something called fate points. Let me just read this to you. So it says the other and potentially most important resource that you have during the game is a currency called fate points, FP. Fate points are central to the function of the game system. They're a measure of how much power you have to influence the story in favor of your character. When you spend fate points, you take a little bit of control over the game, either by giving your character bonuses when you feel he needs them, or by taking over a small part of the story. Now, when I read this the first time, I'm like, the fuck is this? What are they talking about? What kind of nonsense is this, right? To earn fate points, you allow your character's aspects to create complications for him. So I guess it means if you got a peg leg or something, you limp a lot and you get fate points. I don't know. Each player begins the session with a number of points, blah, blah, blah. And it says you could, at any point, spend a fate point to gain a bonus, invoke an aspect, make a declaration, or fuel a stunt, right? So it's like a bonus to a die roll, but you have the control to use them whenever you want. And you can invoke an aspect. And they give an example here. It says, Maya McKenzie has aspects of quiet as a mouse, I remember where I came from, and uncommon sense. I guess they're like background skills or something. I don't know. She's just grabbed a forbidden book and is trying to sprint out of a sorcerer's lair before the dark spellmaster's imminent return. She has good stealth, but rolls crap. She didn't say crap, but I'm just paraphrasing. And so her player, Amanda, points out that Maya's trying to be quiet as a mouse, which is one of those abilities I mentioned. The GM thinks that's fine, so Amanda spends a fate point to re-roll the dice. So instead of having like a skill check, you get a basic bitch check, and then if it doesn't work, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do a skill check. That's like another bite at the apple here. So she does a little bit better. She's still worried it's not good enough. Again, we don't know what the DC is or the result yet. So she suggests that since Maya remembers where she came from, another ability here, she has been in similar scrapes before. She just decides she was in similar scrapes before, I guess. Okay, sure. All right, the GM thinks that Maya's street experience is not going to be much use in trying to evade a sorcerer, but she might be able to change her description of what she's doing to make the aspect fit better. Is that what she'd like to do? So it's like, we haven't even rolled shit. We got one bad roll. We had another basically another re-roll to that. And then they're haggling. They're actually haggling over before we even know what the goddamn result is, right? Amanda decides to stick with the original plan and notes that with Maya's uncommon sense, she can identify the best moment to scurry over and grab the book. The GM likes the creative application of the aspects, so Amanda spends another fate point to get an additional +2 on the roll, bringing it up from fair to great, which is enough to let her quietly escape the sorcerer's lair with only seconds to spare. So after reading that shit, I didn't play that fucking game because it's stupid. Right? It's just dumb. When you're starting to haggle before you even know the goddamn result, it's dumb. And then there's another book about, the world and all that. And that's most of it I read because I like the Dresden shit. Now, as I look at this stuff, I realize that this is quietly infiltrated D&D, right? In 5th edition, with the inspiration die, right? It's an inspiration die. You get to roll another D20. Now, over time, when I understand mathematically speaking, some math geeks can correct me if I'm wrong, it equates to a +4 on a roll, right? You know, you can just give a +4 on a roll instead of that, and it's the same fucking thing over time. Who knows? Whatever. So you get advantage or disadvantage, and that's the inspiration die too. All right, so advantage, disadvantage, inspiration die. It's all sort of somewhat related to this. And I think that some old school DMs back in the day, as the OSR was growing, a lot of us playing those flail snails games, we would play with luck die. Everybody had their own little luck system, especially when DCC came out, right? That was it was a game that had luck built into it in a lot of ways, and so everybody kind of stole various aspects of luck and wanted to put it into their own. And so I admit that I did some of that, but now, if you look at 5th edition as well, what you're going to find too are cantrips. There's basically, I think, Bard or Cleric, or both. The Bards give all kinds of bonuses to rolls, right? All the time. That's pretty much all their function is. They're a super bonus giver, right? 5th edition Bards. That's their main function, is to always give bonuses and inspiration on shit, right? Constantly don't let them out. And then there's that Cleric cantrip that pretty much gives you a plus something, I think +4, whatever the hell, every single roll. You might as well just give the person a D4 to every roll and skip the cleric saying, I give them whatever the fuck the spell is. Just skip that part and just say, everybody always has it as long as the cleric's in the group, in which case, what's the purpose then? It just makes it easy. Everything is easy mode, right? Now, what I do, with my 5e hack here, what I do is I bought these little foam D6s, okay? And if a player does something cool, not the PC, the player does something cool, makes me laugh, something really badass, I might maybe give out one of these a night. And it's usable that night only, right? And you get to roll it and get another D6 on some roll, whatever the hell you want, or you can give it to a friend or something if they need it, right? Even after the fact. Okay, so you roll a saving throw, you fail it, use your I impress the DM die, and you get to roll another one, basically. That's pretty much it. So I got a whole big bag of dice, these fuzzy dice here for that purpose. That's all it is. That's all I'm going to do. I don't do inspiration. I took away that cleric buff spell. There's no bards in my system because bards suck ass. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do when it comes down to like this player control over the game mechanics. Now, ask the question too, player control over the setting. And this goes to the whole background. I've done many videos on this, but to quickly summarize, fuck your background. I don't believe in backgrounds that mean anything. You are a nobody from nowhere, and that's how you start. Your story begins when you start rolling up your character, okay? If you create a background that's in any way sets you apart as being something special above and beyond, that special little snowflake, or the person who showed up and got trophies for just showing up. No, you're not getting anything like that. I remember one time player wrote like a 7 or 8 page thing, and I'm like, guess what? You're level 20 now. If you did all this, you're retired. You rule the world. You're done. You don't why are you playing D&D? Oh, can I make my player interesting? Yeah, going forward, you make him interesting. For now, he's a nobody, he's a nothing, just like you were in high school. You're nobody and a nothing, and now you're going to move forward, go through life, and figure out what the hell you want to do. Your player is that dork in high school, just like we all were, right? Your player is us in high school, a dork, then nothing from nowhere, who was unimportant, did anything, nothing special or anything like that. So that's it going forward. Now, over the setting, okay, they have no control, absolutely none. There was a player in my game once. He wanted to do something, create something related to the class, which would affect the setting. And I said, no. And he said, why can't I affect? Why can't I have any influence on the setting? I said, you can. Not you, the player, but your PC can, based on what the hell he does. Because this, as you know, what I do in my settings as an ongoing story, right? I, the DM, have control over the entire story of the setting and what's going on. Now, I've done multiple videos on this, guys. Go back on my channel, you'll see them. But I have control over the story of the setting. I am a history teller, and I wrote the history of my world going forward. And what you do may or may not affect that history. At your lower level, you might affect the history of the village. Higher level, the region. Higher level still, the country. Beyond that, the world, right? Depending on how high you get, you might affect the story of the world. But for right now, you got to affect the story of this little village that's getting wargs are attacking the sheep, at night and you got to kill the warg. That's the way you're going to affect the story going forward. You do not get to affect the story in any way because the setting is mine. What you do within a setting could affect it, but it's mine. Okay. So that's my take on player agency and player control. None over the setting. Backstory is meaningless, and over the game, right here. This is once in a while, you might get one of these where you make me laugh or impress me with some cool ass idea or some creative spell use or something like that. You know what I mean? Instead of giving bonus XP, I'll give you a dice. You got to use it that session. You give it to a friend. After that, it expires and I want it back. Otherwise, I'll lose all my damn dice. And the players never fucking remember to bring dice to the game. They would forget all this shit. I lose all the dice. So, yeah. So that's pretty much my take on it, guys. Now, go check out Erik Tenkar, Greyhawk Ragnar, and Mr. Welch. Click on the subscribe. You'll see their channels. Check out their videos. They're all dropping on Friday today as you're watching this thing, most likely. And see what they have to say. I've not listened to theirs yet. I just I clicked on it to read the description, make sure I'm doing the same video topic they are. We fucked that up before. We all assumed we knew what the topic was, and we all did some various different of the various spin on the topic, and we never talked about the same goddamn thing. So, any case, hope you enjoy the video, guys. Click like, subscribe, share it around. I do appreciate you listening this long. And I'll see you next time. Maybe Sunday night. I have to prep for a game on Monday. Depends how much time I have, but maybe I'll do another live stream on Sunday. Okay? Anyway, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.